the crypto space and especially the crypto gaming landscape has been a little bit murky, I guess you could say, literally over the last 4 to 6 months, since April to February, where we had a little bit of a gaming run. Gaming has really calmed down quite a bit, but this weekend we had some of the most bullish catalysts come through the door, and the feedback on this, I think, could literally be the spark that we need to kickstart the next gaming run. And, I think that there's been a lot of quality in the space recently with Pirate Nation, with 𝗨𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗧's successful playtest, with �myPetHooligan's successful launch and their game, just the success that it's had. But there are some things on the radar right now, and maybe you could say on the grid, just for a hint, that I think could really parachute the gaming space and actually set us up for a mainstream game in crypto, which we really haven't had. 𝗟𝗓𝗡 was this kind of like a door to the space, showing you it's possible. And we'll go over everything in the gaming space today, what you should be looking at, what you should be investing in to potentially set yourself up for exposure for this catalyst. So let's jump right into it. Like the video, subscribe down below, guys. We are pushing for 100K. Help us out down below. We are looking to become the biggest crypto gaming channel on YouTube. So like and subscribe down below. And a quick shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. We have NordVPN, Moon Tropica, and Universe, and then all of our exchange partners as well down below. If you're looking for a decentralized exchange to trade, if you're looking for a centralized exchange, KYC, no KYC, we have you covered in the description down below. Let's just chat high-level market really quick. Obviously, Bitcoin's sitting around 59, and we're right around that 60K level. We had a little bit of a scare last night. I think that the Jupiter Foundation was selling a lot of meme tokens. People thought maybe we were going to wake up this morning to some chaos. There was like some news, but otherwise this morning we've bounced quite nicely from those low 58 levels all the way back up. We touched 60 this morning, but we're sitting right below 60K at the moment. And honestly, I think we're going to see this for a little bit heading into election season. I think we see a little bit of chop sideways and or maybe even a little bit of a grind down just for the short term. But I think right now is by far the best time to be setting up your positions, and especially in the crypto gaming space. Now, let's look if there's anything that's crushing it this week. We have 𝗨𝗟𝗏𝗏, which I'm actually going to talk about at the end of the show, at 10 million market cap. I mean, this thing's been absolutely crushing it. We have 𝗨𝗟𝗧𝗥, which just continues to defy. It's like Doge's brother or something like that. It's just freaking crushing it. But otherwise, like, not a lot is moving in the market. Once again, meme coins are kind of stealing the spotlight whenever it comes to the gains that you're seeing across the board. But one token that has been moving quite nicely, up 32% this week, is Superverse. And we're actually going to talk about Super here in just a second. I wanted to highlight this tweet from Hunter Soler. I think Hunter does really good work, really good research. If you're not following him on Twitter, hit up Hunter's Twitter. He said, finding the next gaming hit in 2024, we're all looking, the term that has been used over the course of time is, what is the next Axie Infinity? And I think we are missing the mark with that, because there probably will never, ever be another Axie Infinity. Just truly speaking, right? Axie ran from 7 million to 10 billion within a single year. Now, you could term what is the next Axie as far as a single game, or you could term what is the next Axie by token landmark perspectives. There are great products out there at low market caps, but will they hit 10 billion? Like, Axie was a cultural phenomenon in the regions that it impacted. It literally changed the lives of so many people. And as he points out, this weekend, Off the Grid, which we're about to talk about, is enjoying a lot of positive feedback, but there's no way to get exposure below a 9, maybe 10-figure valuation. So he's thinking maybe $1 billion valuation for Off the Grid, which I think is definitely what it's going to probably land at whenever it launches. A big reason why the Ronin/Axie community is unbeatable is that they had their lives changed by Axies. Many early supporters turned into whales, and that loyalty is hard to earn. So basically, we shouldn't be looking for the next Axie Infinity, but what we should be looking for is the next game to kind of turn the tides for people, because Axie did bring in outside interest. I was streaming Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone, and I was a crypto investor. But at the time that I found out about Axie, I literally was competing in tournaments. I dropped it overnight and came into crypto, and I said that this is just much more. This makes much more sense. Like, I had been knowledgeable of the crypto space since 2017. It was my junior year of college. I started investing. I got wrecked like everyone else. 2020, 2021 comes back around. Number was starting to go up in my portfolio again. And then I found out about gaming. And literally my whole life at that time was investing and gaming. So it really merged those two worlds. So I can truly say that Axie changed my life, not even from a financial perspective, but from just the way that I view things and the way that I see the shaping landscape of gaming in the future. So for me, I think that we have to look at what those next titles are that are really going to cascade into the mainstream. I think there are a couple candidates right now. There are some great mobile products out there that are really crushing it, but I think we have to look at the AAA standard. Like, I think AAA games like Fortnite, like Call of Duty, Gears of War, these cultural phenomenons, Valorant, CSGO over the years, they have really been AAA games. So when you're looking across the space, I think that Parallel ticks that box. I think Big Time has a lot of potential. I think they have some work to do, but I think Parallel is probably the closest as far as existing AAA game that could really like break into like the Hearthstone community. But this weekend, Off the Grid playtest was live for PC. They've been testing on PC for quite a bit. I've played, I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal, right? Like, due to non-disclosure agreements that everyone who plays has to sign, I can't show you gameplay. I can't show you clips. I can't show you anything. What I can tell you is it's absolutely phenomenal. The details, the graphics, the environments, the guns, the mechanics of the gameplay, the movement, the hit markers, like, really, really solid. This is by far the best crypto game that I've ever touched in my entire life. And it actually went live on PlayStation 5. And the amount of people playing on PS5 was so impressive. Like, really, the tide is turning here. Crypto games are 100x ahead of where we were just a year ago. And you might be wondering, like, how is this crypto? Well, Avery from AVAX, the Guns L1 is running flawlessly. Play Off the Grid playtesters are trading, listing, and minting NFT game items on chain from consoles and PCs without even knowing it. Like, look at the amount of transactions going through here. People are literally earning assets, trading assets. This is a live economy, and people don't even know it on the back end. We have Kagi here who earned a Gaming on AVAX skin. And as you see here, he's tracking it on the mobile app. So you have the Guns wallet app. He got the Tacoma AVAX Gen 4. You can engage with this. He said you can engage with this tweet for a free AVAX skin. The Off the Grid app is smooth as butter. It really is. And you can list these items, and you can, your transactional currency there is guns. We have Cairo, who's a big like shooter junkie in the Web3 gaming space, saying it's never been so obvious what the next breakout gaming is. It takes less than an hour of playtime to realize that Play Off the Grid is the real deal. So you might be wondering, with all of this in mind, I think it's safe to say that Off the Grid will be the catalyst that sets up the next gaming run. But how do you get exposure to this? Right now, it's very hard. So, number one, if you want direct exposure, at least start to get involved, apply for the playtest on PC or PS5. That's going to help you out. Go download the Guns Wallet app, Gunz Wallet. So, Guns Wallet. You can literally start trading. Look at the market. There's 97,000 guns in volume. That was at the top there. It's freaking insane. But whenever you look at this, it is hard. You can't really access the token yet. You can't access the nodes. I'm going to give you 3 tokens here that can give you exposure to Off the Grid. Number 1, Avalanche. Avalanche is the L1 that is built for Off the Grid. And that's why you see a lot of Avalanche support for Off the Grid too, because Avalanche, I think that their biggest, like what we're seeing in the chain space right now is blockchains and gaming It's pretty segmented at the moment. We have Ronin is the king. We have IMX that's really trying to break through, but their tech could maybe use a little bit of work. We have stuff like Solana, who has a lot of DGen games. It doesn't really get looked at as a gaming chain, but I think Avalanche maybe has the best way into the mainstream with Off the Grid. So Off the Grid could catapult him to literally the most users, the most transactions, the most popular game overnight if they pull it off. So I think Avalanche is a big catch-up trade here. Obviously, looking at market caps compared to like Solana, it's not going to catch Solana, but last cycle we know the run that Avalanche had alongside Sol. Avalanche last cycle went to $140. And even just recently was at $62. It's a 3x from here. So I think this is an easy trade and nice exposure into the ecosystem. I think a kind of side play to this would be Beam, because if Avalanche runs, Beam's going to run. If gaming runs in general, Beam is going to run. Beam is like very, very strong in those market climates, and Beam is also built with the same technology. So if we see Off the Grid just become a major hit, I think Avalanche is going to take a big catapult upward because of the exposure, and it's the official chain for guns. But then number two, I think Beam has enough association with Avalanche subnets /L1 that it would also run, and it's also one of the king gaming tokens right now, so it's going to have a major run as well. And then number three would be Superverse, and he tweeted this week in Elio with the Goku inside of, or Super Saiyan inside of the Superverse logo. And I think that, to be honest, like whenever everything goes live here that Elio's built, everything's going to be so apparent, but they are official partners with Off the Grid. They're official partners with Shrapnel, My Pet Hooligan. The list goes on here. So for me, this is also very nice exposure into Off the Grid because of the fact that there's also skins inside of Off the Grid that are Superverse themed, and they're a partner of the ecosystem. And imagine if you can eventually see some of the ecosystem function on Super Token or something like that. There's a lot of speculation there, but I think that Super, at the market cap too, it's the lowest market cap exposure that you can have to Off the Grid. So for me, the three coins you could have in your portfolio to have current exposure into something like Off the Grid is Avalanche, Beam, and Super. And all in all, I implore you, if you have a PS5, if you're out there and you have kids and your son or daughter has a PS5, literally sneak in there, go apply on Off the Grid, get in there and try it out. I think you'll understand why people are so excited about this game, because it really is by far the best game in crypto that we've ever seen. And I think that if you experience yourself, you'll be more than bullish on the future landscape when this goes live and really sweeps the timeline and gets in front of more mainstream gamers, that crypto gaming is going to really have a huge run at that point in time, which is why the thumbnail says prepare now. And I think those are the three tokens you could have firm roots in and that are pretty safe. Like, I view all of those as pretty low downside. Super, Beam, Avalanche, like very good allocations, and I think all three of them give you good exposure into the Off the Grid ecosystem. Another one that I think has just gotten so slept on recently and is really the king of the open world space is Wilder World. They just opened up their doors for the Odyssey, the Wild airdrop. They're doing a literal $5 million airdrop here, guys. I've said it over time, too, to jump into these airdrops, Infinigods, Super Champs, GOAT Gaming, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. But this is more than a no-brainer to jump in, embark on challenges, complete missions, and earn shards, make a mark on Wyoming's future, and become a legend and rewarded like one too. The Odyssey has begun. Time to forge the future of Wilder World. And, like, to be completely honest, recently, Animoca, who's so much convicted and is behind the ecosystem of Sandbox, they sold $2 million worth of tokens. Now, you could treat this one of two ways. Maybe they're just de-risking, but I think it's a turning of the tides. Like, Decentraland and Sandbox aren't the kings of this market anymore. And I think Wilder World is. They have their open world and first-person shooter around the way. They were teasing on a Twitter space this last week. So you can go to market.wilderworld.com and start farming for this $5 million airdrop. And then look at the charts here. This weekend, they were literally all top four, and then 4 out of the top 6, or 5 out of the top 6 were Wilder World collections on the OpenSea volume charts. Pretty freaking crazy. And then we have people in their ecosystem that have earned 1,000 wild just racing in their game that's currently on Epic Game Store. And this listed on Epic Game Store just last week. And this also intertwines, they are a partner of Superverse. So your super gives you exposure to Wilder World. But I think Wilder World at 26 cents and a $60 million market cap is super, super undervalued when you compare it to other top games in the space. I think it's a very good trade and definitely something that you should probably consider jumping into. $5 million airdrop is nothing to sleep on. And speaking of airdrop alpha, if you've been farming the GOAT Gaming airdrop, I think this is one to pay attention to. Let's go look at, I've been showing tokens all stream, but let's go over here to NFTs and let's take a look at the GOAT Gaming Genesis. It's literally about a 3x from where it launched. It was #1 on OpenSea just today. Like this morning when I woke up, GOAT Gaming NFTs were #1 on OpenSea, top 10 trending for the week. Floor price is 3x from the mint price. And I know they have huge announcements coming up as right now, their season 1 is coming to a close on August 15th at 7 a.m. UTC. Season 2 is about to go live, and I know that the emphasis here, like Season 2 is really going to turn things up from a user acquisition perspective, from the amount of people that are farming this. So I would highly, highly advise jump in this before the 15th, have some Season 1 exposure, play Mighty Action Hero, play some of their other ecosystem games, complete some challenges, refer your friends. I think this airdrop is definitely going to be worthwhile. And I mean, the floor price chart here, pretty awesome to see. Just the growth, the conviction. There's 10 ETH in volume over the last 24 hours. The collection's almost at $1 million market cap, which people don't really talk about these things, but that is definitely important to note. And of course, I'm still farming Infinigods, Super Champs. I think that, you know, the biggest game on base, that is what you're getting with Super Champs. So I think this is an obvious one that you should be taking advantage of at this point in time. But right now, just seeing the growth for GOAT, I scooped up tons of these NFTs at like 0.05, 0.06. And they have been trending up quite nicely. And as Oscar Memento Mori from WolvesDAO and Nexus says, slow cooks are just like low FDV token launches. Less focus on pre-launch campaign. They stay vague, announce juicy details post-mint, and start the marketing machine post-mint. Despite starting slow 0.07 on mint day, Ghost is now pushing towards a 3x. So big shout out to GOAT Gaming, and I hope you guys have been participating in these airdrops because I'm legitimately in cahoots with a lot of these teams and these ecosystems, bringing you the alpha that I'm getting on the inside. So hope you're using that to your advantage. And then a little bit of meme coining, of course. We have 𝗨𝗏, which broke the record for Bybit official record for most engagement in the shortest amount of time. And they tweeted, "Woof." It seems like 𝗨𝗏 could be coming to Bybit. If you have not had exposure to it, I do genuinely think it has more upside. A lot of people were like haters on 𝗨𝗏, but if we go take a look at 𝗨𝗏 at $238 million market cap, I mean, I think $1 billion is easy here. So I think we see 𝗨𝗏 hit $1 billion over the course of this cycle. So it could just be one you could park some cash into, and I think could be a good play. A little more speculative on the next two, but two that I'm just so bullish on. #1 would be 𝗨𝗏𝗏. Let me find it here. 𝗨𝗏𝗏. Here we go. 10 million market cap. I think $25 to $50 million on 𝗨𝗏𝗏 is very doable. The CTO, the KOLs, the community behind this is one of the strongest that I've ever seen. So I have a bag of bub, and I'm going to keep riding this up at this point in time. And then one on Solana that also has like insane backing, insane whale support, community. This is one I've recently added into my meme coin portfolio. But this is called Buttercat, and you know, it's a very cultural meme again. But on Solana, I think that this one, if we go find Buttercat on the watch list, I think it should be around here. Yep, here we go. 7 million. Once again, I think $25 to $50 million market cap here is a given, and maybe even higher with the support that both Bub and Butt have. So they kind of rhyme today on two of the meme coins that I've recently entered or recently been, you know, kind of seeing the market caps grind up, and I'm really bullish on. So those are two that I'm recently had some exposure into. And then a big announcement just on my front, my app Nexus, we're going live on August 21st. You can track your portfolio, you can have early investment access, have all of your watch lists, all of your NFT data, all of the tracking mechanisms you need in crypto underneath one roof. August 21st, we are going live with this app. It's the app I use on the show every single day. So I'm excited for you guys to be able to jump in here, track all your wallets. As you see, I'm tracking 11 wallets underneath one umbrella here. You can track the entire NFT market. Launchpad, you have watch list, everything that you need. So excited for this to go live on the 21st. And then a quick shout out to one of our sponsors here, the 𝗬𝗟𝗧𝗥𝗡. 𝗬𝗟𝗧𝗥𝗡, big supporter of them for quite a long time, and it's awesome to see them come in as a sponsor on the channel. And they're one of the most well-rounded ecosystems. You know, they have merch, they have lore, they have comic books, they have the game. They have literally like a legit story behind this ecosystem, and not many games have that at this point in time. They also just announced a partnership with Iskra World, where you can use your Jumper's energy to claim new Reward Vault NFTs, which contain 1,000 UNIO and 700 ISK tokens distributed over 5 months from the UNIO coin TGE. Now, this is going to be the future token of Unioverse. So, as they say, UNIO coin is like Robux for grown-ups. The community is enabled to make games using AAA quality assets and sprawling sci-fi stories. So the TGE is coming soon, and we will definitely keep an eye on this from one of the best teams and one of the most fun games that I've played in crypto to this point in time. So guys, like the video, subscribe down below, and prepare for this gaming run. People might be flooding gaming on your timeline. You might have thought up to this point that gaming isn't going to run this cycle, but it absolutely is. And I think off the grid is our mechanism into the mainstream. It might not be the next 𝗙𝗚𝗬𝗣𝗧𝗢 by investment perspectives, but it's that game that could break into the mainstream, bring more incumbents in, and really finally grow the gaming industry and crypto beyond what we have seen before. Like I said, I think the best exposure to it, Avalanche, Beam, Super, and then also we covered Wilder World, Goat Gaming, Super Champs in this video. So if you enjoyed the content, like the video, subscribe down below, and I'll see y'all on the next one. As always, play well, my friends.